We are delighted you chose to be with us today, and we want you to have a wonderful experience. Please be assured your safety as well as your enjoyment of the event are our utmost concern. Please take a moment, look around, and identify the nearest two exits. Whether in a virtual setting at your home or physically in some formal venue, we must always be emergency ready. So please identify two exits in your current location in the event it is necessary to evacuate quickly and orderly in case of the need for an emergency evacuation. Also, as we strive to continue to stay safe and healthy, please follow the latest guidance from the CDC. Remember to wear your mask when necessary and wash your hands regularly. Greetings and welcome to today's webinar hosted by the Pittsburgh Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Before we begin, I will be providing a few housekeeping items for our event. All lines have been muted, and to eliminate interruptions, all participants will remain in listen-only mode. If you have any questions for our presenters, please feel free to enter them in the Q&A pane that can be located via the bottom of your Zoom window. Questions will be addressed during the appointed time. We hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and now I'll turn it over to our chapter leadership for welcome and introductions. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. And my name is Helen Bowers, and I'm the president of the Pittsburgh Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Economic development is one of our 5 national programmatic thrusts, and I'm happy to introduce our Entrepreneurial Mindful Mindset series. Our presenters today are all members of the Pittsburgh Alumni Chapter, and our Economic Development Chair is Doris Smith, and I will hand it over to Doris.
Thank you, Madam President. Did you know that there are over 3 million Black-owned businesses in the United States that employ over 1.2 million people? Did you also know that those Black-owned businesses have generated over $200 billion annual revenue? Look at those. You can look at those results or those surveys by the Small Business Administration. For tonight's program, I'd like to welcome you again, but also give you the purpose of our program. Our program is to provide best practices to beginning and emerging business leaders here in the Pittsburgh area. Please join us over the next 5 weeks for tips on building your brand, funding opportunities, and just overall business tips. Tonight, we're going to start off with our Entrepreneurial Spirit with Rhonda Carson Leach, our Senior Program Director for Urban and Community Entrepreneurship Program and Fellows Class at the University of Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Doris. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone, and good evening. As Doris mentioned, I am Senior Program Director with the Institute for Entrepreneurial Excellence. We're part of the University of Pittsburgh, and we're actually part of the Innovation Institute. And for over 25 years, we have been providing services and helping business owners in Western Pennsylvania, surrounding areas, helping them to start business, helping them to expand their business. Even if you're just in an infancy stage, we're there to help you flesh through ideas. And we do that by consulting services. We do that by our workshops, and more importantly, our networking. So I'm so excited to be here with you this evening, give you a little taste of really what mindset and entrepreneurship is all about. Obviously, it cannot go through everything, every nut and bolt and pebble for starting a business, but hopefully this evening we'll be able to kick off a really great session to get you inspired, get you motivated and empowered with some great information and tools that you can consider and take forward after this evening. Next slide, please. So what's it mean to really be an entrepreneur? Well, Google kind of defines it as a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. Let's just make it simple. It's a person who undertakes the risk of starting a new business venture. That's really what it is. Working for yourself, working hard, right? And you being the sole person that's responsible. But again, taking that risk. Next slide, please. So, how are the ways that you really think about starting a business? So, before I even do that, I want to throw in a little bit about how the mindset really is critical, right? So, that entrepreneurial mindset, even before you get to this actual step into how you actually can start a business, let's talk about being resilient, being resourceful, and solutions oriented. And if I were to throw out a couple of entrepreneurial mindset characteristics, they would all make sense to you. Something like creativity, being a problem solver, resourcefulness, determined, focused, right? Persistent. And yes, gratifying, because at the end of the day, it's something that you really want to do. So let's get here on how it really happens. It happens three ways, right? In starting a business. That's your own idea, right? You have a passion, you have a hobby, you love making floral arrangements, you love cooking, you do hair so beautifully. That's your own idea. Or it can be an existing business. So the floral shop owner down the street decides to sell. The corner market owner doesn't want that any longer. They decided that they want to do something different. You explore that existing business opportunity. And the third would be franchise, as we know what franchises. So the Golden Arches, McDonald's, it can be a Burger King, right? It can be a small floral shop chain. It can be just butt cakes. I love that new store out, but that's a franchise. It's already tried and proven, right? That's a franchise, different than existing, right? With existing can be some parameters that they have existing, but really doesn't necessarily have to be a tried and proven model like a franchise. So those are the three ways that you can really start a business. That's how it really happens. Next slide, please. So just a couple of critical factors, right, of trying to be successful in this endeavor. Well, having some qualifications. What is it that you really have that says you are worthy of doing what you want to do and have the experience, right? Is there an opportunity? Really, when you talk about business and entrepreneurship, it's really trying to fulfill that need, right? And hopefully creating that potential opportunity. Having a little bit of a roadmap. That's what we call a business plan, right? And as I tell many of my clients from time to time, that business plan is a living, breathing document that doesn't sit on the shelf. It's ever evolving. Another one would be capital, right? Because you need some capital to probably get started. It's great if you can, again, shoestring budget, that's fine, but knowing that you may need some assistance, right, in starting that business in order to be successful. And really, what I think is one of the most important pieces here is the timing. Like everything, timing is critical, right? As to when you're going to enter that market, right, in which you've done your research. Timing, very critical. So these are just a couple of the 5 critical success factors that I want you to really think about. Next slide, please. Again, talk about qualifications. What's your experience, right? Just really having that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Really just being creative. And again, you may fail, but again, I believe this is the thing, not being afraid to do that, right? So we know if you fail, you fall down, you get back up. That's okay. And sometimes that's really an advantage, possibly if you do. Now, hopefully I want you to have all the tools and things in place and information to empower you so that you don't. But again, failing is not horrible either. Don't be afraid if by chance on the first try, that's not 100%. You don't know everything. You really don't. You learn through the whole process, right? You really, really do. And it's really having back to that mindset, wanting it badly, right? Being unrelenting for that, because that's what you really want. And people will pick up on that and will assist you. So again, those qualifications are very important. Next slide. When I talk about, potential opportunities, just really in understanding the industry, really kind of understanding the market and who do you want to reach? What audience do you want to reach of your target audience, right? When we talk about, the competitive advantage and disadvantages, always, always, if I said I want to purchase a McDonald's franchise, well, guess what? On another corner, could possibly be another burger chain or a burger place, right? So there's always going to be competitive advantages and disadvantages. And we really drill down and we talk a little more about a niche, what that really is, fine tuning what the real niche is. So, I love McDonald's fries, but I like the Burger King burgers, right? So there's going to be differences, right? There's going to be something that's really makes sense on one hand and kind of this disadvantage or that doesn't on the other hand of those differentiators, right? Of your potential opportunity when you're looking at your industry. And hopefully you've done some research about your industry. Next slide. I mentioned a little bit about a business plan. That business plan is really a working document that's always in progress. And you need to do research, obviously, before you can even develop the plan, right? Do your research. You want to gather as much information as possible. Really need to understand your target audience. What is your niche? What is your true niche, honestly? And understanding the pricing. Those are huge pieces, but also what is your background? What's that management? Do you have the actual information that you need, right? That you can put this all together. And so when we talk about a business plan, as I said, it's a working document in progress. You complete it, you don't put it on the shelf because it's always ever evolving. Next slide, please. Sufficient capital. Well, that's always a toughie, right? You need something generally to get started, right? And in the early days, because I've been doing this 25 years plus, in the early days, I would tell people, well, you can put a little bit of money on those credit cards and that'll be okay. That's not the story I tell people today. With the high interest rates, obviously, from the credit cards, there are many other ways that you can really sufficiently secure and also fund your business. Again, we talk about bootstrapping. There are many, many ways, but understanding your costs will help you understand the exact capital that you will need to start your business. And once you start to, again, make a little bit of money, you're probably going to be reinvesting that over and over and over, at least for the first maybe 1 to 3 years, depending on your business. Next slide. This is just a basic slide that says we are all in the relationship business. Listen, you need to be able to properly communicate. You need to respond, whether it's your emails, your phone, in person. Always, always. If you're serious about this, it's always about a relationship, always having a great communication line. If you say you're going to do something, follow up and do that. If you say you're going to respond to something, do that. And don't wait for someone to ask you. You be the person to be a little bit more on top of this, right? So again, we are all in the relationship business. Everything that we do, and especially entrepreneurship, is truly relationship. Next slide. It's important that you do your research. So obviously now in the age of the internet and all of the resources out there, you have to start someplace. And, I still love the library, right? Our Carnegie Library system, love spending time there. And again, it's free. access online, huge databases. I mean, thousands and thousands, but also there's assistance there, right? Trained entrepreneurial librarians who can really help you. They can provide direct assistance to you and for you. It's just about time, spending some time. But that's really the return of your investment, right? Of your time. Next slide. So here are a few resources. There are many more. These are just some of the ones that within our University of Pittsburgh system I'm connected to. So the University of Pittsburgh, we have a small business development center, SBDC. We love acronyms, but our small business development centers are an association of small business development centers that are around the world. They're all over, and they are usually housed on college campuses or universities. In fact, in our local Pittsburgh area, we have two, one at the University of Pittsburgh and one at Duquesne University. And the SBDCs help small businesses. They help to start, to grow, and to prosper, all levels of the life cycle. That's what they do, help individuals at all levels with their business ideas, their business ventures, and helping them through their business acumen. Another resource partner is our Riverside Center for Innovation that's on the north side, and they are a business incubator and a great resource. They too offer some information and classes. In fact, we work a lot with Riverside Center for Innovation, great hub there as well too. And then also the Center for Women's Entrepreneurship at Chatham University. And I have listed, of course, all of their contact information and websites that you can reference after this session. Next slide, please. Wow, this is a really important site. So please take note of this one. This is the Pennsylvania Business One-Stop Shop. So whether you're thinking about starting a business or you're expanding your business, this site will provide some wonderful information, great resources to help you work smart, right? To help you work smart. And that's a big piece, work smart and not hard. And some of the useful links and information through this site, there's many, many, but I think some of the top ones that can assist you with some guidance and information is helping to write a business plan. If you need to file and pay your state taxes, small business funding, resources for minority-owned businesses in Pennsylvania. So it's really a one-stop shop. I mean, you could really just become immersed in this site. And as you see on there, you can plan, you can register, helps you to operate, grow, all within Pennsylvania. It's really a huge business hub for you. So take note of this. It's a great place to begin and to land on for resources and additional information for you. Next slide. So I love this. I think this is something that easy to think about, but we don't always. So the 4 business planning never evers. Failing to plan in the first place. You know, business owners don't plan to fail, you fail to plan, right? So again, it's not that you don't want to succeed, you just really don't have a plan for how to go forward. So failing to plan in the first place. This is a business never ever. So you always want to plan, right? Shrugging off your values and vision. You know, it starts with your vision, really, and your values of what you want to show up as, right, to the public, right? What's your motivation here? And it's very important when you're thinking about your vision, getting started, because we know vision can be long-term and long range, right? And also don't shrug off those values, right? Those values of confidence, motivation, and persistence, and all of those great things. Understanding your competition. This is another one which you really need to do some research, whether it's it's some think tanks, whether it's doing surveys, but understanding who your competition is. And let me just reiterate, competition is healthy, very healthy, and you don't get around it. In fact, you almost welcome the competition, right? That's where you start to drill down a little more on what your niche is, a little different from your competition, but understanding who they are. And guess what? Competition is not only good, sometimes you end up joint collaborations with your competition on a project. So consider that too, understanding your competition. And then shying away from reasonable risk is another one of the 4 business planning never evers. So just again, something to kind of think about. Seems really elementary, but again, these really, really mean a lot when you're in that early phase of starting business. So I see something's come through. I apologize if I'm trying to read my slides, but it asked me to please explain reasonable risk. Well, and actually as a business owner, it's all risk taking. And so reasonable risk can be, let me narrow it down a little more. So again, taking the risk for starting this business in an economy that's really not that advantageous really to do that, that can really be a reasonable risk. But you can mitigate some of that risk by really being prepared, right? And having your ducks in a row and doing your research. These are all the back end things that help to mitigate what some of that reasonable risk could actually be. But remember, entrepreneurship is risk taking. And sometimes it's really lonely at that spot because not everybody can do this. Not everybody really has the fortitude to be able to see it through, risk and all. Next slide, please. I think that's actually my last slide, but I also just want to add this into, I think that in starting a business, you really need to just think through, is the timing right for you? Have you done your research? I'll say that word 2-3 times, research. You really need to spend that time learning about industry, learning about what it is that you want to actually do. Is it a service-based business? Is it a product-based business? Are you manufacturing this? Like, you really need to understand what those things are. And also too, in the whole scheme of things, getting assistance, getting a consultant to sort of walk you through all those areas, and eventually even maybe a mentor, someone who's in that space, right? Who can actually add some value to you during that time when you're sort of in that infancy, just trying to figure it out. There's many resources out there, and I'd be more than happy to share some additional resources, but I would like for you to, again, think about those 3 sites that I gave you, because on their websites, they have additional information and resources for helping you to start and to grow your business ventures. This has truly been an opportunity for me, and I would like to open up any questions at this time.
Sora Carson Leach, your presentation was absolutely wonderful. I learned so much. I am excited myself about the opportunity to explore business. And we're hoping that we have some question and answers, because you have a wealth of information and knowledge. There aren't any questions in the chat, in the question and answer right now, but if anyone has any, there is time to put some questions and answers in there. If you wanted to elaborate on anything in terms of maybe how one goes about doing researching the competition or something like that, then that may be helpful, and maybe you'll wet their whistle.
Sure. So let me even go a little further, because I really want them to focus on, getting assistance, really getting some help in the early stage. Again, when you're in that infancy, you're not even sure where to turn. And so that's why, again, those resources and connecting with someone that can really be instrumental in helping you, because you don't want to just be on the internet searching. Sometimes that's not always the best way. And let me give you an example. Being an entrepreneur and coming from an entrepreneurial family for 30, 40, 50 years, I've seen the highs and the lows, issues, risk, being sued, everything. Let me tell you, the internet is fabulous, but it can't answer everything. So, as you know, it's great resources, information. You know, when I was first starting a business many years ago, and I had to meet with, attorneys. I had to meet on the legal side. Well, they were so expensive, but guess what? I had everything set up correctly. And I had a client come to me probably about a year ago and said, I can just go online and I can do all these things. And that was great. That, hey, there's wonderful resources on there, but you want to make sure that it's correct, right? There's always a bottom line, the gray area that you haven't seen, right? And so what happened to one of my clients in the past, they went online, did all these things, and in the end, there was something that was missing that opened them up for a lawsuit of sorts. And then they had to go and get an attorney that they didn't have initially. And so now they've lost time, they've lost money, honestly. So again, when I say do your research, make sure that you're doing the correct things. That's why getting assistance through some of these entities and our small business development centers are fabulous for helping you to think through all of these issues that you didn't have a clue about, honestly. Again, even myself, being in business all these years, teaching, right, helping to guide and inspire, there's still things that, I come up and I'll say, I wasn't sure about that. And so I go to, again, some mentors and some, senior leaders, right, in that space to ask questions. So get assistance, get the help that you need early on. Then you don't have to keep backtracking, losing time or money. Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea. Here's a question. Are those resources free? What can one expect to pay for some of these resources?
Yes, that's a great question. So at the Small Business Development Center, at Riverside Center, and also Chatham, there's no cost to register. I will say for the Small Business Development Center, if you want to engage in what we call a first step and second step, the first step would be like the nuts and bolts, right? And so that would probably be about 90 minutes, almost 2-hour session. The nuts and bolts, whether that is, again, accessing your name, setting up your structure, getting your license, registering, all that basic information that you do just to call yourself a business, right? All of those things, that you do are critical. And if you want to understand and learn more about that, the Small Business Development Center has a 2-part session, part 1 and part 2. And I believe the 2 of those together are $50. That's all you pay. That's all you pay. So each one is $25.
Like worth it.
Yes. The second session would be developing a business plan. And that's 2.5 hours. It goes through all the elements from, again, the executive summary, all the way to the finance, to the management, to the industry, to the competition, everything that goes into a business plan. Do they write the plan? Of course not. If they write it, it's their plan. It's going to be your plan, right? So you put all the information really together from your mind to the pen. They can help you, right? Kind of put it in the right order, and then they'll review it and make sure that it makes sense. Yeah.
Well, we have some questions coming in. One question is, can you elaborate more about the business plan? Is there a certain component that should be included?
Well, now I'm just doing it from memory now. Well, I used to actually do the classes. So you really want to overall understand your marketing, understand the competition, understand just the nature of overall your industry at hand, the management section, who's going to run this, what kind of experience does the owner have, operations, right? Are you going to have a storefront? Is it going to be virtual? Anything that would constitute setting up, opening the doors for all of that, right? And then also the financial piece, right? So that's a big critical piece, getting some assistance by helping you to develop your financial strategy, right? The financial elements of that too, what is the cash flow, the pro forma, just again, all that initial information. Because if you were to go to a lending source, to a bank or an alternative lending, they want to see something. They want to see a pro forma. They want to see a cash flow, something initially, right? How much money do you have to start with? What are your estimated expenses, right? What do you believe you're going to have left over? So all of those things go into a business plan. And as you see, it's a working document in progress. Give you an example. You've done this business plan and it's taken you a while. This is not an overnight 24-hour thing. If you've done it 24 hours, God bless you. However, that's really not enough time because you have to do the research. And then you have to find about the competition. And then you need to do the financial piece. And so again, these entities, the Small Business Development Center, the Chatham, the Riverside, they can help you pull all that together, that business plan together. So it takes time. It takes some time. Think through it. Think through all of that. And then once you get that completed, you can put it aside, but you review it. Guess what? Because changes will occur. You know why? You start off in the business, you hire 2 people. A year later, you hire 9. That's wonderful. Did that not change the dynamics of your business? Then you would update that business. So you see, it's a working document in progress. Doesn't sit on a shelf. It's right next to you. It's right next to you.
That makes a lot of sense. Here's another good question. How do you recommend finding a mentor? This person has a consultant, but they really want guidance on finding someone who looks like them.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good one. And believe it or not, I've been blessed to have mentored over 35 individuals through the years. I think it's finding someone, that you're comfortable with, that you trust, that has been successful, whatever that successful means to you in that, right? That, that they have done well, right, in their industry, that they're connected, they also can add some value, right, to you. And so I think in trying to identify a mentor, again, someone that that has been a great wealth of information, right? Just, to the general public, to the general audience, that you're also comfortable with. It's great. It's a referral. Someone says, hey, I have a good friend I think would really love to really spend a little time with you. And guess what? You don't have to engage in this in a long time manner. Just maybe have a cup of coffee just to talk a little bit about some things that you're really looking to do. And you'll get a sense of that, right? That gut, right? As we do kind of have that, you'll get a sense of this is the right person for you, right? And then again, you set up a secondary meeting. You talk a little more about maybe some of the goals, some expectations that you're looking for to see if it matches with maybe what they can deliver. If so, that can be a win-win.
Sounds good. Well, I think that concludes our questions and answers, and we're going to move forward with the rest of our program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I would just like to say, I want to leave with everyone that good, better, best, to never let it rest until your good becomes better and your better becomes best. Thank you so much, and good luck to everyone in their endeavors.
Wow, that was phenomenal. I took a lot of points out of here, a lot of nuggets out of here. Just the roadmap, making sure that I had a roadmap, and really the communication and the relationships that are needed for building your business. And then just those tips on resources that are out there, and we sometimes may not know it, but that was awesome. Thank you, Rhonda Carson Leach. And I love the fact that you left us with the good, better, and the best. Thank you so much. We are going to, right here, we're just going to announce here For everyone that participated this week, you will be entered into a drawing for this week, and your name will be announced on the next our next session next week as on who won the drawing. The drawing is for a $25 gift card to Amazon. So thank you for your participation, and we still have some more to go for you tonight. We're going to turn it over to our business spotlight, Melissa Coleman Drain. Melissa.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Coleman Drain, and my company is Melissa Lavon's Virtual Assistant, Human Resource Strategist. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. So by trade, I am a human resource director who works for a large rehab hospital here in Pittsburgh. And I also own 3 businesses. One of our businesses, my husband and I own a restaurant, which is located on the north side of Pittsburgh called Flavors Famous Street Food. It's a Chicago-style street food concept. I have another business, which is a real estate business. And I also own a commercial cleaning company. So a lot of you might ask yourself, why should I hire a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant is your ace in the hole. A virtual assistant is your best friend in business. A virtual assistant is the best kept secret. Now, what is a virtual assistant? It is a professional who helps elevate your company, who makes sure that you are in compliance, who makes sure that you're organized, and who also makes sure that you are building your business and you're profitable. For Melissa Lavon's Virtual Assistant HR Strategist Company, we have some expertise, not limited to, but I want to go over some of the areas that we will highlight tonight. Human resource management, restaurant administration, of course, social media management, and that's one of our biggest highest clients at this time, real estate administration, small business management, commercial cleaning consultant, and hospital and personal care home administration. Now, I want to talk about a little bit about what we do for these organizations or small businesses and other small businesses if you were to hire my agency. One, we will start with our recruitment and onboarding processes. So a lot of businesses find that they're not sure of how to start recruitment or how to onboard their new hires. You can hire Melissa Lavon's virtual assistant services to help you navigate through your recruitment and onboarding processes. Social media. Social media is very big to small businesses specifically to engage your audience and create content that is engaging and complementing to your followers on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We schedule out your post at times that are pertinent where a lot of people are on their devices and on social media. We also create the content that goes out, whether it be a reels, whether it be a story, or whether it be a video that would highlight your expertise in your businesses. Payroll administration. I'm very, very familiar with payroll in the 1099 world, where you have a contractor, or if you are looking for a W-2 employee that you need to hire on a company that would be able to send out your checks or direct deposit to your employees. As Soror Rhonda Carson Leach had mentioned about a small business, maybe your business, or let's just talk about your hobby, have turned into a business and you no longer know what to do. Melissa, what do I do? How do I get an EIN number? Should I get an LLC? Or how do I register my business? You can come to Melissa Levon's virtual assistant services and we can help you navigate through that. Also, a lot of people do not know what licenses they might need. If you're an e-com business, do you need sales tax licenses or wholesale licenses? We can help you navigate through that also. For those restaurants, online third-party menu build-outs. For those of us who use Grubhub, DoorDash, you would be surprised of the small businesses, the small restaurants that are not familiar with the platform, so they stray away. And that is a part of their revenue that keeps them open. We can help navigate through that to help you keep your back offices updated. We can help you put pictures in place because we all buy with our eyes. And we can help put those things that you need to be successful in that online business. Even though, you might have an owner that is older and not very familiar with the software or the technology that we have today. And also that CRM system for those real estate agents that are looking to look for leads and reach back to their clients and send out email blasts or text blasts. We can help you with that. Melissa Levon's virtual assistant company can offer an array of opportunities for all size businesses. We can help elevate your company and help you develop those things that you aren't sure of or you're afraid of. Those QR codes, as you see on the screen, people don't know how to do. We can help you develop those things. So I am asking you to take a look at the screen and go to our Instagram, go to our Facebook page, take a picture of the QR code and book a call with me today. Go out to our site, click on the Book Now button, and reach out to us. Do I have anyone that have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much. How informative. That was excellent, because you really explain how you can assist business owners so that they can focus on their services and their sales and whatever they're providing. And then you, with your virtual services and business services, provide social media, payroll services, the HR issues, licenses, and all the things that can bog a business owner down. So that just sounds like a great service. There are some questions coming in. One question is, and we had a leftover question. I know if you may want to even answer this, about recommendations on how to recruit employees, because it has been tough. Is that something that you face, or you have any feedback or ideas on that?
Absolutely. So again, as I told you before, I am an HR director for a hospital here in Pittsburgh. And we do a lot. I do a lot of more raw creative things, you know, such as reaching back, sending that email that says, we are, you know, we're looking for you. Be creative with your emails. That subject. Are you looking for money today? You know, and to try to engage that person to reach back out to you as a business owner to say, yes, I'm looking for money today. And you can give them the details later, and get them to kind of get that appointment set up. And then you can tell them what you can offer them. We do recruitment if it's your company yourself, your own, your small business company, or even if it's a big business company, we can help you navigate through that. Another question I see is, do we provide services to businesses in other states? Absolutely. That's exactly what virtual assistance is about. And I will tell you, I have recognized that I've always been a virtual assistant before the pandemic have come, because as a human resource director, I've been at my company for over 11 years, and I've always been a preceptor, and I've always been the HR director that takes on other hospitals when they don't have an HR director there. So I've had to work from my desk in Pittsburgh and recruit and be an HR generalist for a hospital in Boston. So that's just what a virtual assistant is. Being able to work from one spot and being able to give value from afar.
Yeah, it sounds like you're providing a lot of needed support. I do have a question.
Absolutely.
What motivated you to start your business?
So as you heard in the beginning of my presentation, that I do have several businesses. And so I was thinking of, what can I do to be able to have more flexibility in my life so that I can excel in the businesses that I have. And this is why I started the virtual assistant business, so I can work for multiple clients at one time. I want to say this: scalability for a virtual assistant to scale your business. You know how we walk into our day and we go to the coffee machine. We come in at 8 o'clock, right? We're supposed to start 8 to 4:30. You go to the coffee machine, you talking to your coworkers, you take your coat off, you walk down the hallway, you're talking to somebody else. By the time you get back to your desk, it's 9:30, and you were supposed to start at 8.
Right.
And don't mention the phone call that you took that was your mama or your kid, or, you know, calling the doctor's office. Well, for a virtual assistant, when you hire a virtual assistant, we are very strategic about when we provide services for our clients, because I have 10, 12 clients that I need to get the work done for. So I don't have time to go get coffee, talk on the phone, go do my laundry. Although we're at home, we're still working diligently to make sure that I can get that first client's work done that they've paid me for, the second client's work done that they've paid me for. And then what's nice too is you don't have to, you're not paying for that extra time. You're actually getting what you've paid, the money you've paid me as a virtual assistant. You're actually getting that money, that wealth out of what I'm doing.
Great.
Exactly.
Great. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. Are there any final comments that you would like to leave us with?
Just want to say 3 reasons, just 3 reasons why you should, or it's a benefit for you to hire a virtual assistant. 1, cost effectiveness. You don't need an office. You don't need to have an office with 3, 4, 5, 6, even 20 employees. You can have a virtual assistant that works from home, that you don't have to buy any equipment, any office space, apply in the office space, and you don't have to pay our benefits. We actually pay our own benefits. 2, flexibility. We are flexible. When you have work or you have projects that need done, you call and you hire a virtual assistant. When you don't have any projects, then you don't call and you don't have to pay out for our services. And 3 is scalability. We help scale your business. So if you are scaling down and you're slow, then guess what? You don't call the virtual assistant, Melissa Levon's virtual assistant services. But when you're scaling up and you have more business, you give us a call, you can scale us up or you can scale us down. So I feel that it's really a great opportunity for a small business to hire a virtual assistant, to where you don't have to hire a W-2 employee that you have to give, or they're expected to have a certain amount of hours per paycheck. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow, thank you so much, Melissa Coleman Drain, for sharing with us about your virtual assistance business. Wow, we got a lot this evening. As we said earlier, as Kim said earlier, that Rhonda wet our whistle. Melissa and Rhonda both wet our whistle this evening with the entrepreneurial mindset. And we just are so excited and thankful that you all joined us this evening. I know that I picked up many nuggets this evening. So, and I hope that you've picked up some as well. We are looking forward to our next sessions, which will be on Wednesday, November the 1st. It will be 6 p.m. And for the next 4 weeks, we will have a session each week from 6 until 7 p.m. So please join us. Please invite a friend, a family member, to come out and join us. I'm sure that you will be fed each week that you come out for the entrepreneurial mindset series. And again, please join us for that because you will, the winner from tonight's drawing will be announced at our session next week. And we just have one more announcement. Our upcoming event for Delta Sigma Theta sorority, the Pittsburgh alumni chapter, is our Crimson and Cream Lanes. It's on Friday, November the 3rd at 10 p.m. Please scan the QR code. The bowling party is at 3601 Leechburg Road in Pittsburgh. So please make sure that you come out and come out to the bowling party, scan the QR code, and also check out our website for the information. We are putting in the chat, dropping a link for a survey for tonight's workshop. Please, we need your feedback. We'd like to hear your thoughts, and also would like to hear what you would like to see in the future. Again, thank you again for joining us this evening. Have a great night and a safe night. Thank you.